You ever sit with something, a quote, a memory, a weird sentence someone once said, and you don't get it at the time, but then months later, it just clicks? Yeah, that's how this is. If this video makes no sense to you right now, that's okay. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're just not there yet. And if it does make sense, then maybe this is your sign that the fog is finally lifting. I knew this guy once, real quiet dude. Didn't say much in groups, but you could tell his head was always spinning. He told me something once I never forgot. He said, "I used to listen to videos like this, and I thought they were bullshit. All that, you're not lost, you're remembering kind of stuff. But now, it's the only thing that makes sense." And when I asked him what changed, he just looked at me and said, "Life happened. The mask cracked. That's the thing. You can only understand certain truths after life wrecks you a little. After the performance gets too heavy, after you try every way to numb it, fix it, outrun it, and realize none of it works. Sometimes you gotta feel like a complete mess to realize you're finally cleaning out the wrong parts. And yeah, that realization, it doesn't come in some aha moment with music and fireworks. It comes on some random-ass Tuesday, when you're brushing your teeth, staring at yourself half asleep, and something in your chest just goes, I can't do this version of me anymore. No one teaches you how to listen to that voice, because most of the world teaches you how to ignore it. You're told to toughen up, power through, stay on schedule, smile at the party, say you're doing great, fake it till you freaking collapse. But the version of you that's watching this video, you're already tired of that crap. That's why this even found you. This message, it wasn't meant for the version of you that was still trying to hold it all together. It was meant for the version that's just starting to let go of control, of pressure, of pretending. You probably didn't plan to watch this. It just showed up. But that's the thing about certain truths. You don't find them. They find you, right when you're cracked open enough to hear them without running. So if this is landing, even a little, then maybe it's your time. Maybe not to fix everything, not to figure it all out, but just to be real enough to say, okay, something needs to shift, and I think it starts with me. You want to know something weird? The more you chase clarity, the further it runs. Like, the harder you try to figure everything out. What to do next, who you're supposed to be, what it all means. The more it slips right through your fingers. You don't get clarity by thinking harder. You get it by getting honest, and that's usually the last thing we're willing to do. Because being honest means admitting you're confused. It means saying, I don't know what the hell I'm doing right now, and not immediately trying to fix it or make it sound poetic. Just owning it. And that's terrifying, but it's also where everything real starts. You know how many people I've met who look like they've got it all together? Clean apartment, good job, decent smile, consistent gym routine. But inside they're freaking exhausted. Not because life is hard, but because they're trying so damn hard to keep the illusion going. Like if they stop pretending for 1 second, the whole thing falls apart. And honestly, maybe it should, because what's falling apart isn't you. It's the version of you that was built for survival. The version that knew how to perform, impress, overachieve, and never pause long enough to ask, wait, do I even want this life I'm holding together? That question, it's the beginning of everything, but it doesn't come with answers. It comes with silence, and most people can't handle that part. They fill it up with noise, podcasts, scrolling, plans, goals, more goals, coffee, more coffee. But that silence you're trying to avoid, that's where you live. And that's why this video only makes sense when it's time. Because you have to be quiet enough to actually hear yourself again. And I don't mean hear your thoughts. I mean hear underneath them. That subtle hum in your chest that says, yo, this version of me isn't it anymore. You ever notice how the most important shifts don't happen when you're hyped? They happen when you're tired, when you're done, When the idea of performing one more version of fine just makes your stomach turn, that's when things actually start changing. Not when you finally master some morning routine, not when you check off some self-help to-do list, but when you sit in the stillness and admit, I'm not okay pretending anymore. That's the beginning. It's ugly, it's uncomfortable, but it's freaking real. And that's why you're still here watching. Because part of you knows the pretending has run its course. You know what messes us up? Thinking we need a damn plan before we can start being real. Like, oh, I'll stop pretending once I figure out what comes next. Or, I'll finally be myself once I know where it's all heading. Nah, that's the trap. That's what keeps people in cycles for years. Cycling through fake friendships, jobs that don't mean anything, habits that feel like punishment, because they're waiting on a freaking plan to give them permission to be honest. But here's the truth. You don't need a plan. You need to feel again. Not everything has to be solved, calculated, or structured before you decide to stop betraying yourself. Because you already know what feels off. You already feel where the tightness is. In your chest, in your habits, in your damn calendar. And I get it. Feeling things again is scary as hell. Because when you've been numb for long enough, emotions hit like a freaking truck. But that intensity, that's not proof you're broken. It's proof you're alive. You think it's weird to suddenly cry at a song you used to skip, or feel anxious in rooms you used to love being in. It's not weird. It's you waking up. You're not broken. You're just not anesthetized anymore. And yeah, that'll freak you out at first, because everything feels too much. But it's not too much. It's just been bottled up. And now it's coming out in weird little waves you don't always know how to ride. That's healing. It's not a 10-step morning routine and journaling your way to peace. Sometimes it's just standing in your kitchen staring at the wall like, damn, I've been pretending to be someone else for so freaking long, I forgot how to just be. If you're feeling that, the shakiness, the fog, the weird mix of numb and overwhelmed, don't run from it. That's the exact doorway back to yourself. And no, there's no roadmap for what comes next. But finally feeling again, that's the first real direction you've had in a long time. No one tells you how quiet the real shift is. It's not fireworks. It's not some main character montage with soft lighting and lo-fi music. It's not you suddenly waking up at 5 a.m. doing yoga on a mountaintop with glowing skin and green juice in your hand. It's you sitting on the edge of your bed at 2 a.m. whispering, I can't do this version of life anymore. And for the first time, actually meaning it. That's the real beginning. You don't post about it. You don't announce it. You just stop playing along. You stop going to the places where your soul feels suffocated. You stop texting people who only call when they need to borrow your light. You stop saying I'm good when you're clearly not. And yeah, people might not get it. They'll say you've changed, that you're distant, colder, but you're not colder. You're just done setting yourself on fire so other people can feel warm. And the wild part, the second you stop pretending, you start noticing how many other people still are. You start seeing the tension behind their smiles, the way their eyes flicker when they lie to themselves, the way they rush from one distraction to the next, desperate to avoid even a second of silence. And suddenly, you don't envy them anymore. Not the followers, not the lifestyle, not the validation, because none of it feels real when you've tasted your own truth. You become weirdly peaceful, not happy all the time, not at all, but stable, even in chaos, because when you stop pretending, even your breakdowns feel clean. Like at least now, the tears are honest, the quiet is earned. That's when you know something's shifted, not because life got easier, but because you stopped abandoning yourself in the middle of it. And from that place, you start building differently. Conversations feel different. Relationships feel different. Your energy is no longer scattered across 1,000 maybes. You've finally come home to the one thing that matters, you. It's a strange moment when you realize everything around you still looks the same. Same room, same job, same people, but you're not the same anymore. And nobody really notices it at first. You still show up. You still smile. But something in your energy, it's not playing the same game anymore. You don't laugh at the same fake stories. You don't entertain conversations that drain you. You're not rushing to prove, perform, or please. And it's not because you're bitter or burned out. It's because you're freaking tired of lying to yourself. You start craving something else. Not excitement, not drama, not even some grand life purpose. Just peace. Real peace. The kind that doesn't need to be posted. The kind that feels like exhaling after holding your breath for 10 years straight. That's when people start saying things like, "You've changed. You've become quiet. You don't show up like you used to." And you just nod. Because yeah, they're right. You have changed. And no, you don't show up like you used to. Because the version of you that showed up for everyone else, even when you were freaking drowning, that version, she's gone. He's resting. They're finally letting go of the fake responsibility to hold the whole world together. Now you show up for you. And at first it feels selfish. It feels wrong. Because you've been conditioned to believe your worth is tied to what you do for others. How helpful, how pleasant, how available. But slowly, that guilt starts to fade. And in its place, something stronger grows. A calm knowing, a spine, a softness that's no longer afraid to say, "Nah, I'm not available for that anymore." You start protecting your peace the way you used to protect your image. And damn, that's when life starts to feel real. Not perfect, not put together, but real. And for the first time in a long time, that's enough. Let's be real for a second. This whole time, you thought the journey was about fixing something. Fixing the sadness, fixing the overthinking, fixing the "why am I like this" spiral you keep looping through at 1 a.m. But it was never about fixing you, because you were never broken. You were buried, under expectations, under pressure, under survival mode, and fake smiles, and trying to be the version of yourself that made everyone else comfortable. And now, you're not trying to become a better version of that mask. You're trying to take the damn mask off. That's why you're here. Not just watching, but feeling this. Because some part of you is finally done pretending you don't know who you are. You do know. You've just been too scared to live it out loud. And I get it. Living honestly, it costs you things. Some people won't come with you. Some spaces will feel colder. Some days, you'll miss the comfort of the old lies. But the freedom on the other side, freaking unmatched. You wake up and breathe, like really breathe, without the weight of performing, without the guilt of resting, without the constant pressure to get your life together on a deadline you never agreed to. And you know what? You don't need 10 more videos after this. You don't need another book, another lecture, another guru telling you what to do. You just need to listen to that tiny voice, the one that whispered, "Click on this video," and then stayed with you through every word. That voice, that's you. Not the scared version, not the numb version, but the part that's still whole, still awake, still waiting. So here's your moment. Not to fix, not to solve, but to stop running. To sit with yourself and say, "Damn, maybe I'm not lost. Maybe I'm just finally seeing clearly." If that landed, even just a little, drop a comment that says, "I'm here." Not for me, for you. Mark this moment. Claim your space. And if you're done with surface level content and fake healing, hit subscribe. Because I promise you, this won't be the last time you feel seen here.